All right. Act 5. Romeo and Juliet coming to the dramatic conclusion. So, I'm probably I'm probably not going to do it justice. I don't know what to tell you. It makes me sad. So, at the end of Act 4, Juliet agreed to marry Paris. Friar Lawrence gave Juliet a vial that would make her appear dead for 42 hours. No breath, no pulse. So she took this vial, went up to her bedroom. She had these visions like, oh, what if he's trying to kill me? What if I go mad and I beat out my brains? And oh, Tybalt, she says as she sees his ghost. And Romeo, Romeo. And she drinks. She passes out. Okay, now, at this time, Romeo has been banished, right? Romeo is in Mantua. Doesn't know about the potion. He doesn't know about Paris and Juliet getting married. He doesn't know that Juliet is now dead. And so here he is sitting in Mantua. And Act 5 opens up, and Romeo's sitting there, and he's just kind of talking to himself. And he says, oh, if I may trust the flattering truth of sleep, my dreams presage some joyful news at hand. Now, look at that. Dreams. Again, remember earlier, Romeo said, I had a dream tonight. And Mercutio goes, that dreamers often lie. In bed, asleep, where they dream things true, Romeo says. Romeo says that I dream that tonight at the party, something is going to happen that will start me on a path to my early death. And so now Romeo's talking about his dream again. He says, I'm going to get some good news today from my dream. He says, I dreamed that my lady came and found me dead. Wait a second, that's good news? I dreamed that my lady found me dead. Strange dreams. And she breathed life into me with kisses on my lips. And then I revived and was an emperor. So Romeo says that he dreamed that he was dead, and Juliet came in, kissed him, and he was alive. So he sees that as a good thing. All right. So he's sitting here, he's talking, he sees his man Balthazar, and Balthazar comes up. He goes, Balthazar, tell me, what's the news? Nothing could be wrong if Juliet is well. And Balthazar, Romeo's servant and friend, he chooses his words carefully. So if we look at line 16, he says, Romeo says, nothing can be ill if she be well. And Balthazar says, then she is well, and nothing can be ill. So what Balthazar does is he takes Romeo's words and he flips them. And the reason for this is that he is saying, Juliet can't be in a worse place because she's in the best place because she's dead and she's in heaven? Right? Is that okay? And he says to Romeo, her body sleeps in Capel's monument, which is the family tomb. We've talked about that. And her immortal part with angels lives. Okay? And so Balthazar tells Romeo, Juliet is dead. He goes on and says, I saw her body laid in the kinsman's vault. That's the tomb. And then I immediately, presently, ran here to tell you this news. So please forgive me for bringing this bad news. Pardon me. Since you did leave it to my office, you gave me this responsibility. And Romeo gives this. And if we were in class, all the teachers would be like, what's wrong? Then I defy you, stars, he yells. I defy you, stars. Stars, right? Stars have been, from the very beginning, this symbol of fate and destiny. And Romeo says, I defy destiny. Okay, so Romeo says, give me some pen and paper. I'm going to write a note. And I'm going to rush off and do something. And Balthazar says, whoa, I'm afraid you're going to do something crazy. I don't think that's a good idea. And Romeo says, doesn't matter. Go away. All right. So, and then he says, Juliet, I will lie with thee tonight. On line 34. So Romeo basically says that he's going to go and kill himself next to Juliet's body. Okay. It says, and then he says, I remember, line 37, I do remember an apothecary. An apothecary would be kind of like a pharmacist today, but also kind of like a drug dealer. So they would have some medicine, but also some other stuff as well. All right. Says, I remember an apothecary who lives around here, and I remember his home looked kind of old and grungy, and he had all these weird things, weird bones in his windows, and a tortoise shell was there, and an alligator, like all these weird things. And he says, he was a pretty poor dude. I bet he'd be willing to sell me some drugs. So he goes to the apothecary, knocks on the apothecary's door. What ho, apothecary! The apothecary comes to the door. Who's yelling so loud? Says, come, man. I will give you 40 ducats, and this is important. I will give you 40 gold coins if you give me a dram of poison. Apothecary goes, whoa. Such mortal drugs I have, but it's against the law for me to sell them, so I'm not going to do that. And Romeo says, I can tell that you are poor. The world is not your friend. The world's law is not your friend. The world has given you no opportunities, so why don't you take my gold coins? And the apothecary says something very, very interesting. Line 75. He says, my poverty, but not my will consents, which means, he says, because I am poor, I will sell you this illegal drug, even though I don't want to. That's a big, important question for all of us. When things get tough, do we throw out our morals just because we are poor? Does that give us the right to ignore the laws? And I think there's lots of good arguments that can be made either way in different situations. But I think it's a very interesting thing. And Shakespeare, even though it's this one tiny little line, he hits on a really, really big theme for humanity, right? My poverty, but not my will consents. I'll do it because I'm broke. Well, is that the way you want to live? Do things you don't want just because you don't have any money? Romeo responds, he says, fine, I'm not paying your will, I'm paying your poverty. Let your poverty take the money. I don't care about your will. Just give me my poison. The apothecary says, put this in any liquid thing that you will and drink it off. And if you had the strength of 20 men, it would dispatch you straight. This would kill up to 20 men. So it's powerful stuff. And he says, here's thy gold. And again, Shakespeare touches on something so crucial, so important. And Romeo says, here is your gold. We're poison to men's souls. Worse poison to men's souls. Doing more murder in this loathsome world than these poor compounds that thou mayest not sell. I sell thee poison. Thou hast sold me none. Farewell. Buy some food. Get some fat on your body. Romeo says this. He says, you just broke the law and your will for money. Who has the poison? This poison? That's not poison. This gold, that's the poison to men's souls. You just broke the law and your own will for money. This isn't the poison. Fascinating, fascinating comment on humanity, on our motivations, on how we do things. So good. Oh, I just love those lines. So good. All right. So Romeo is now rushing back to Verona. He's got his poison. Juliet is lying in the family tomb asleep, but Romeo doesn't know that. And here we get a fascinating thing, especially for COVID-19. Friar John and Friar Lawrence are having a conversation. Friar Lawrence sent a note to Romeo, and in the note it said, Dear Romeo, Juliet took a sleeping potion. She'll be sleeping for 42 hours. Come and get her. And he goes, hey, Friar John, you're going to Mantua? Would you take this letter to Romeo? Oh, okay. I'll take it. Friar John goes riding off, except that Friar John stops to help some people because the bubonic plague would have been in Europe in this time, a plague, and they got quarantined. Friar John got locked in a house. Do you get that? He got locked in a house in quarantine. Friar John comes back to Friar Lawrence and goes, here's your letter. I couldn't take it. Nor get a messenger to bring it thee. So fearful were they of infection that the city locked us up. They were so afraid of the plague. And John goes, well, nobody had it. We were all healthy and we came out just fine, but I couldn't deliver your letter. Kind of funny because here we all are locked in our homes. You guys, quarantine, quarantine. Okay. Oh, unhappy fortune, Lawrence says. This was so important. He says, get me an iron crow, which is a crowbar. I must go to the family's tomb to break out Juliet because Romeo doesn't know about it. Juliet's going to wake up in 3 hours. All right. So that's the end of scene 2. That was real quick. All right. We're going to press on to Act 5, Scene 3. So much good stuff. All right. So it starts. Paris comes up to the family tomb and he's got some flowers. And it's at nighttime, of course, nighttime. Very dramatic. He's got his torch. And he says to his servant, you stand over here. And Paris goes and he's going to take Juliet these flowers and he says how much he loves her. And Romeo comes up. Now think about this from Paris's perspective. Romeo killed Tybalt, right? And Juliet was heartbroken. Juliet's dead, and here's the enemy. And so Paris sees Romeo and goes, you evil villain, what are you here? You're going to desecrate the family tomb? What are you going to do? You're going to break in and rob the rings off her fingers and steal stuff from this family? You evil dude. Paris says, get over here. I'm going to kill you. And Romeo says, tempt not a desperate man. And we've seen Romeo fight. He killed Tybalt, and Tybalt was a good swordsman. And so Paris and Romeo says on line 59, tempt not a desperate man. Fly hence and leave me. He says to Paris, you better run away. Okay? I don't want to hurt you. But you better leave me alone. All right, so Paris says, I defy your conjurations, and I apprehend thee for a felon. And Romeo says, are you going to provoke me? Then have at thee. They sword fight, and Romeo kills Paris. And in Paris's dying words, he says, oh, I am slain. Be merciful. Lay me with Juliet. Which is kind of funny. Paris has no idea that Juliet's married to Romeo. Paris says, put me next to my bride-to-be. Now, what would you do if you were married to this dead woman and this other guy came up to this woman, wanted to be with her? Would you take his body and put it next to your dead wife? Romeo goes, in faith, I will. I see who you are now. Your last wish, I will put your body next to Juliet's. You're like, wait, what? Whatever. So he drags Paris's body into the tomb. All right, so Romeo then is looking at Juliet and he says some really interesting things. And this is the drama of it. Imagine, again, Juliet's lying there and you're looking at the stage scene and Romeo's standing over her. And Romeo says this, thou art not conquered. He says, you don't look dead. Death hasn't conquered you. Is it crimson in your lips and in your cheeks? You don't look pale. There's no pale flag here. That's because she's not dead, Romeo. He says, Juliet, you look alive. Look how colorful your face is. That's because she's alive. He says, oh, look, here's Tybalt. Tybalt's dead. All right. And then he says, come, bitter conduct. And he brings the potion up to his lips. Here's to my love. Oh, thy drugs are quick. Thus with a kiss, I die. And we saw that scene in the movie that we watched, that brief scene there. So Romeo drinks the potion, dies like that. Romeo's dead. No fake death for Romeo. Romeo's dead. So we got Paris dead. We got Romeo dead. Friar Lawrence breaks in and he finds Balthazar and he goes, what's happening here? Balthazar goes, I don't know. Romeo went in. They fought. I don't know what's happening. I think bad things are happening. And Friar Lawrence is like, oh no. Friar Lawrence comes in and he sees Romeo, line 145. Romeo, oh, Paris too. Steeped in blood. Oh, what has happened? The lady stirs. Juliet wakes up. Line 149, 150, 51. Juliet wakes up and goes, oh, Friar Lawrence. I thought that my love was here. I remember. Where is Romeo? She kind of sits up and looks around. And Friar Lawrence goes, I hear something. We need to go. We need to go now. And Juliet says, I'm not going away. What? Here's Romeo's dead body. He has a cup. And she kind of tries to take it. Poison? He left none for me? Oh, churl, she calls Romeo a rude guy. Oh, how dare you drink it all and not leave any poison for me to kill myself with? I'll kiss your lips. No poison left on your lips. Oh, your lips are warm. You're newly dead. There's noise outside. Friar Lawrence like, we got to go. And Juliet says, yea, noise, then I'll be brief. Oh, happy dagger, here is thy sheath. The sheath is the container that the dagger knife would go into. So she pulls the knife out and she says, this sheath, that's not where you belong. My body is the sheath. Oh, happy dagger, this is thy sheath. Oh, there rust and let me die. Ah, Juliet's dead. Paris is dead. Romeo's dead. Juliet's dead. More death to come. All right. So everyone comes in. They're trying to figure out what in the world happened here tonight. Montague shows up. This is Romeo's dad. And on line 210, Romeo's dad says to the prince, oh, my wife is dead tonight. Grief of my son's exile has stopped her breath. So Romeo's mom died because she was so sad because Romeo had been exiled. Oh, the prince, everyone's confused, like, what's happened here? And Friar Lawrence starts his great monologue, and it's really good. I am the greatest and able to do the least. I know everything. So let me explain it to you. And he just kind of explains everything, explains the whole story. So remember, if you missed it the first time, Shakespeare explains it the second time. Friar Lawrence gives a summary of the entire story right here on page 477. All right. Friar Lawrence, Paris, the prince says, oh, we know you to be a good man, a truthful man. All right. So we get to the end. What's going to happen with the Montague family and the Capulet family? They've both been wrecked and destroyed by murder and death, and they've been fighting for years and years. What should happen? They join in friendship. Capulet says, oh, brother Montague, give me thy hand. This is my daughter's jointure, for no more can I demand. And Montague says, I'll give you one better than just my friendship. Line 299, for I will raise her statue in pure gold, that whilst Verona by that name is known, there shall no figure at any such rate be set than that of true and faithful Juliet. So Montague says, I'm going to make a gold statue of your daughter so everyone can remember her. And Capulet goes, as rich shall Romeo's by his ladies lie. I will build one of Romeo so they can be together. Gold statues forever. And the prince ends, and I just love it, so I'm just going to read it. It's so good. A glooming peace this morning with it brings. The sun for sorrow will not show his head. Go hence to have more talk of these sad things. Some shall be pardoned, some punished. For never was a story of more woe than this of Juliet and her Romeo. Ah, it's so good. It's so good, you guys. I wish we could be together. It breaks my heart that we can't be together. Hopefully, this little video has helped you understand the play a little bit. So, Mercutio's dead. Tybalt's dead. Juliet's dead. Romeo's dead. Romeo's mom is dead. Paris is dead. I feel like I'm missing another one in there somewhere. But anyway, it's tragedy. And why? Why is it tragedy? This is the question we have to ask ourselves, right? This is the whole point. Was it fate and destiny? Can you defy the stars, like Romeo says? Two star-crossed lovers? Is it fate and destiny that controls your life? Or is it their decisions? If they had just slowed down if they just taken a moment, do you think any of this would have gone differently? If Friar Lawrence would have said, hey, let's talk to your mom and dad first. If, I don't know, there's 1,000 things that could have gone differently. So hopefully you enjoyed it. Hopefully the Shakespearean language was not too difficult for you. I sure miss being able to finish it with you guys. So you're going to watch this, and then we're going to actually watch the movie together. That'll be fun. All right, guys. Hopefully that. Oh, let me just show you this real quick, just as a reminder. So these documents here, hopefully I have gone over and made your ideas as clear as I can. So make sure you fill out these documents, answer these questions. All right. So that's that. All right. Take care. Have a good day. Miss you guys.